Amul chocolates may soon get expensive. Higher cocoa prices are affecting companies across the board, with dairy giant Amul and ice cream brand Baskin-Robbins are also now feeling the pinch. In fact, Amul is looking to hike prices of its chocolates by 10 to 20% very soon. Now, Amul has the largest market share in the dark chocolate space, which uses cocoa butter. The prices are putting therefore pressure on companies, and Amul is likely to pass on that price to its customer. To talk more about Amul's plan as far as its dark chocolate market is concerned, joining us is Jayen Mehta, is the managing director at Amul. Jayen, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for taking time out. I want to first begin by asking, how expensive are the chocolates getting?
You can see inflation to consumer is income to producers in this case also, because there's been a huge increase in the prices of cocoa bean and cocoa-related products internationally. And within India also, we work with a cooperative called Camco, based out of Karnataka in South India. And we are their biggest customers. And they're seeing that increase in the cocoa bean prices, their purchase prices, which were historically for the last 25 years never gone up more than 200 to 50 rupees a kg. They have to pay 800 rupees a kg to the producers.
Mr. Mehta, good morning. Sorry to butt in the interest of time. There's so much to cover about sweet chocolates getting really bitter on their prices. So is the problem largely confined for a seasonal shift with the high temperatures and high rainfall that we've seen in West Africa? Or do you think the short supply is here to stay?
The two things. Internationally, yes, this has been the reason which has been attributed, which has gone up to doubling up and more of the prices of cocoa-based products. In India also, what we discussed with Camco is a lot of farmers were shifting out of cocoa bean production into other plantation crops like currant nut and so on. So there was perhaps a need to give them a compensatory increase in the prices of their inputs and the other costs. But this has been a very irrational increase. I mean, no commodity prices goes up 2, 3, 4 times in such a short time. So we hope things will cool down. But for the moment, as the things stand, there is a real increase in the prices, which we have to unfortunately pass it on in the prices of chocolates, as you just mentioned. We are absorbing the hike for the chocolates we use in our ice creams and beverages. But let's hope the situation normalizes before Diwali and the prices should be at the normal levels.
But if prices do correct, are we going to see even those corrected prices being passed on to the customer? Because once prices rise, Mr. Mehta, companies tend to not bring them down anytime. So are we going to see any impact if cocoa prices of the raw material indeed go down?
The two things. A, we will not fully pass on the increases. Otherwise, it will be very, very high and it will actually be very harsh on the consumers. So it's a calibrated increase which we will be taking. And more importantly, yes, in case of inputs, if the prices comes down, there's no harm in actually reducing the price, because that expands the market and ensures a long-term business for us. So Amul is a brand which works both for the producers and consumers. So we'll be practical on that approach also. It's not that once prices go up, they will never come down.
So you did mention that there aren't enough investments into cocoa farms, and is that a trigger given that chocolates are a major chunk of your business, not as much as dairy but a significant chunk? Are there some thoughts on the drawing board at least of some sort of a reverse integration, backward integration with Amul investing in some cocoa production?
So this integration has been there for last 50 years, because we are in this chocolate business for last 50 years, and we came in specifically because the farmers of that region were exploited by multinationals in the chocolate space who were not giving them a good price. So that's how Amul got into the chocolate space for the first time way back in 1973. So this backward integration in the cocoa bean production space with the cooperatives already exists, and it's pretty strong. So we will continue to engage with them, see that the farmers remain interested in this business. Consumers also buy our locally sourced cocoa beans and the chocolates made out of it, and we grow the market. On the other side, we are making high investments in expanding the plant capacity. The current capacity is being doubled. And I'm sure we are also equipped to gain from the shift in the consumer behavior from the normally sweet, sugary chocolates to the dark chocolates, which we already have a strong portfolio, and we'll continue to grow the market.
All right. And Mr. Mehta, a question therefore at this point is, why are farmers not producing enough cocoa? Is there not enough merit? Is there not enough profiteering by the way of cocoa production in the country? And what are we expecting Amul to do about it?
No, so Amul is the front of the market, which is the face as far as the cocoa is concerned, because unlike milk, where we directly have our own farmer base, here we deal with another cooperative. There are a lot of issues in the production of this plantation crop. So the Camco has been very actively doing it, expanding its producer base, creating a portfolio, and Amul, of course, has been steering the chocolate market in a very, very strong manner. But this again is an internationally transmitted issue that we have been facing. And collectively, once the international market also cools down, the domestic demand also stays high, domestic production also keeps pace, then I think we'll have a win-win situation in which consumers will need not complain and farmers also will be happy once the price finds the right equilibrium.
Okay, and there's enough and more conversation around dairy products as well. Come summer, we see a price hike. For dairy, is that going to be in the pipeline? We know that there's not been any sort of price hike, at least in the past couple of weeks. Are we expecting prices to rise for milk or other milk-related products?
Oh, good you reminded me. Let me clarify. There's been no increase in price of Amul milk since February 2023. So it's more than now 14, 15 months when we are seeing the steady prices of milk and milk products. So at the moment, nothing on the cards. So let me assure it's not just 2 weeks, but it's more than 14 months.
And Mr. Mehta, sticking to the subject of dairy, yeah, while we haven't seen price rise, from Amul come in for the last more than a year, but there is likely to be a shortage of milk supply in summer months. And there are reports which are indicating that the shortage of water could also indeed lead to a lesser yield of milk in the dairy sector. Is that a concern for Amul at the moment?
No, I would not agree to that. There is enough supply of milk, and there's in fact a very decent volume of milk and growth in milk production and procurement in Amul and our set of cooperatives, not just in Gujarat but across India. So I would be very clearly, categorically stating there's no shortage of milk and not likely to be any shortage of milk in the coming, not just the summer season but also the festive season and beyond.
All right, Mr. Mehta, thank you very much, sir, for taking time out early this morning. Thank you for joining us here on News 9. So the word coming in there, as far as Amul is concerned, chocolates are getting expensive, definitely, by about 10 to 20%. But as far as dairy products is concerned, milk is not getting expensive anytime soon. The prices have remained stable since February of last year, likely to remain stable in the upcoming months and weeks as well.